In a previous video, we saw that some magicians tend to use digital effects to perform their tricks, but what we're about to see cannot be explained that way. This trick is done live, with the host standing very close to the magician. Some YouTube channels claim that the only possible explanation is that Shinji gets help from spiritual beings who assist him in performing what we're about to witness. The magician will ask one of the hosts for a card, and then we'll see how it starts to move. At first, very subtly, as if it's trying to lift off. Gradually, the movement becomes more noticeable. Now, let's watch as the card starts to move more clearly, slowly gaining strength. At a certain point, the magician will let go of the card. And it will start to spin, traveling from one hand to the other. He then hands the card to the host, inviting them to try. But this time, the card refuses to move. However, as soon as it's back in the magician's hands, it starts moving again, making a full circle around him, leaving everyone stunned. The card will levitate again in front of the amazed hosts, floating between Shinji's arms before making another full loop around him. Maybe the only explanation is something supernatural, or maybe not. Some animals surpass us in strength, speed, or agility, and computers may outperform us in problem solving. But what's truly unique to humans is our ability to ask questions. We're rational beings, but with a very particular kind of reasoning. Like any other ability, reasoning can be misused, either by not using it enough and letting it weaken, or by overestimating what it can achieve. The same happens with our reasoning. Either we don't think enough, or we fall into the trap of believing it can explain everything. What makes us unique isn't just that we can solve problems quickly, but that we ask questions neither animals nor machines can. In a world that tries to turn everything into a commodity, it's not in their interest for us to ask these questions. Initiating the system, loading parameters, and we're ready to go. Hey, what's up everyone? So it looks like there are two ways to perform this trick, either by making a deal with the devil or by using an invisible thread. Yes, I know some of you might say that if there were an invisible thread, the hosts would have noticed it. But what part of invisible didn't you understand? Now, let me explain how this is done. Invisible thread is a common product you can find at a magic store. No, not that kind of store. If you search on Google, I'm sure you'll find a magic shop in your city. But if you don't feel like going to a store, you can also make your own invisible thread. For that, you'll need some shoelaces, which you'll need to fray. With a lot of patience, you'll pull out some threads. And if you keep pulling them apart, you'll get an even thinner fiber, almost imperceptible but strong enough to hold the weight of a card. Well, not super strong, but strong enough. The other thing you'll need is wax. You can get this at a pharmacy or a store that sells dental products. Look for orthodontic wax. It comes in small sticks inside a case. They're not expensive, and what's great about this wax is that it's very sticky. Luckily, I have some leftover from when I used to wear braces. One thing I need to warn you about is that the strength of the thread will depend on where you get it from. It can be quite fragile, so you'll need patience to extract it. Once you've got the thread, you'll put a little wax on one end, and boom! You've now got the power to levitate objects. Well, at least a card. Now, let's get back to Shinji and see how he pulls off the trick. When starting the trick, one end of the thread should already be attached to the magician's ear, and the other end, with the wax, should be stuck to his shirt. Look closely. His hands move freely. But when they reach down towards his shirt, we see him grab something. That's where the wax-covered end is. Now, we can tell he's holding something because his hands aren't moving as freely anymore. Now he needs to wait until the other person hands him the card, and as he receives it, he sticks the wax and thread to the middle of the card, and voila! The magic is ready to begin. Once the thread is connected to the card and the trick starts, it's almost impossible to spot the filament as it's practically invisible. Notice the strange movement the magician makes. It's as if he's trying to grab the thread, but once he's got it in his hands, a slight motion is enough to make the card start floating. Of course, more complex tricks require a lot of practice to achieve the right precision in making the card move. To get the card moving, the magician has to lean his body and head forward. This positions the card perfectly, allowing it to float between his hands. Recreating this trick requires plenty of practice. Only with precise control of movements combined with the thread can you achieve the desired effect. Let's watch as he makes the card circle around him once again. For the final move, Shinji shows the result of his extensive practice, as he grabs the thread with his thumb to create the illusion of the card floating between his arms. Without hesitation, he releases the thread again, making the card complete another full circle around him. The magician uses the movement of his head to create the circular motion of the card. In these examples, we can clearly see how essential the head movement is to achieve the spin and then catch the card again in his hands. Here's another example. I hope this video has helped you learn how to levitate objects without needing to make a deal with demons. Leave your suggestions for other tricks you'd like to see on this channel, and don't forget to like this video if you want more magic tutorials. Alright, now you know. Thanks so much for watching, and as I always say, stay tuned for more videos.